Imagine waking up tomorrow with a completely different mindset, not because your life suddenly changed, but because you decided it would. Most people think transformation comes in massive waves, a lucky break, a lightning strike of genius, a life-altering decision. But they are wrong. Transformation doesn't roar. It whispers. It begins in the smallest of places. How you think when no one's watching, how you respond to failure, what you do in the first 5 minutes after you wake. Tiny hinges swing massive doors. And the life you're living right now, with all its stress, all its noise, all its silent longing, is waiting for you to turn the key. The truth is, your future isn't buried under some distant mountain. It's built in the quiet corners of your day, in the little things you either choose to master or choose to ignore. Success is not some mythical place you arrive at. It's the residue of daily habits, repeated with intent, forged with discipline, and lit with belief. Let's begin. Habit 1. Claim the morning before the world takes it from you. Before your phone screams, before the inbox floods, before the expectations of everyone else claw at your time, you must take the reins. Wake up, not just early, but purposefully. When you rise before the noise, you rise before the chaos. You claim the only part of the day the world hasn't yet corrupted. And in that silence, you decide who you are. Do not start your morning scrolling through someone else's life. Do not start it reacting to the demands of others. Start it with your mind, your breath, your clarity. Because the first thing you do in the morning, that's the tone setter. That's the signal you send to your brain about what matters most. Even 5 minutes of presence can tilt the axis of your day. Breathe deeply, move your body, journal, set an intention. Ask yourself, who do I want to be today? And what will that version of me do? You don't need an hour. You need ownership. Own your morning and you will own your life. Habit 2. Speak to yourself as if you were unstoppable words shape worlds. And the most dangerous words are not the ones spoken by others, but the ones whispered inside your own mind. Your self-talk is either a weapon or a wound. The man who says, "I'm not good enough," has already programmed his failure before he's taken his first step. But the woman who says, "I may not know how yet, but I will learn," has already opened the door to possibility. Every word you say to yourself is a command. Your mind listens. Your body obeys. Your life reflects it. So tell the truth, not about where you are, but about what you are becoming. Say it loud. I am building discipline. I am learning courage. I am becoming relentless. You don't need perfection to start. You need permission. And the first voice that must give you that permission is your own. Talk to yourself like someone worth believing in, and eventually you will be. Habit 3. Move your body to move your mind. The body is the servant of the mind, but it's also the mind's reflection. How you move determines how you feel, how you think, how you fight through resistance. Movement is not just exercise, it is activation, it is declaration. A strong body fuels a resilient spirit. A tired body breeds hesitation. When you sit still for too long, your dreams begin to do the same. But when you move, your energy shifts. Your thoughts sharpen. Your decisions strengthen. So get up, stretch, walk, train, sweat. Not because of how it makes you look, but because of how it makes you live. Some of the greatest minds, Edison, Da Vinci, Roosevelt, all understood the power of movement to unlock ideas, build stamina, and clear mental fog. Motion generates emotion, and in the space of 10 minutes, you can go from defeat to domination, simply by deciding to move. Habit 4. Plan one powerful move every single day. Listen carefully. The difference between a man who grows and a man who drowns is not the size of their goal. It's the clarity of their next move. Don't wake up and ask, "What should I do today?" That question is the death of momentum. Wake up with a plan, not a long list, not 1,000 ideas, just one. one deliberate action that pushes the needle forward. Napoleon Hill called it definiteness of purpose. Carnegie lived by it. Ford enforced it. Disney visualized it. They didn't waste their energy chasing every opportunity. They focused, laser focused. And every single day they made one decision, one move, one risk that compounded into legacy. So decide your move before the day begins. Write it down. Say it out loud. Feel the power of choosing your direction instead of waiting for life to decide it for you. You don't need to conquer everything in a day. You need to conquer something. And then stack that victory again tomorrow, and again the day after that. That's how empires are built, one bold decision at a time. Habit 5, train your mind to see possibility where others see limits. The average mind says, why bother? The exceptional mind says, why not? When life hits hard, and it will, most people shrink. They see walls where there are doors. They see closed chapters instead of new volumes waiting to be written. But you are not most people. You are the architect of your outlook. When something goes wrong, do you curse it or do you learn from it? When the opportunity looks risky, do you run or do you sharpen your courage? Possibility is not about what you have. It's about how you see. It's what made Lincoln rise through loss. What made Helen Keller become more than her limits? What drove Steve Jobs to revolutionize technology from a garage? They saw what others couldn't because they trained their mind to. Gratitude sharpens that vision. Reflection strengthens it. Reading, listening, learning, all of it rewires your brain to find opportunity even in chaos. You must become a hunter of the possible. The world will hand you 1,000 reasons to stop. Find the one reason to keep going. That's the seed that changes everything. Habit 6, build unbreakable structure through daily discipline. If desire is the spark, discipline is the engine. It's what moves dreams off the page and into reality. Everyone wants the result. But very few are willing to show up when it's boring, when it's inconvenient, when it's cold, quiet, and thankless. But let me tell you the truth. Greatness lives in repetition. Champions are not crowned in the spotlight. They are built in the shadows, in lonely rooms with no applause, with nothing but their own willpower echoing off the walls. Discipline is not about punishment. It's about alignment. Aligning your actions with your highest vision of yourself. And that alignment must be practiced daily. Set boundaries. Define your non-negotiables. Do what matters even when it's the last thing you feel like doing. When you do it once, it's effort. When you do it repeatedly, it's identity. The man who keeps his word to himself becomes dangerous, because there is nothing more powerful than someone who does what they say they will every single time. Be that person. Build your life like a craftsman, deliberate, focused, consistent. Because without structure, talent rots. Without discipline, potential dies. But with it, you become unstoppable. Habit 7, protect your environment like your life depends on it, because it does. You are not just the product of your habits. You are the product of what surrounds those habits. Your environment is either lifting you up or dragging you under. It is either feeding your purpose or starving your drive. Look around. Who are you spending your time with? What are you letting into your mind? What are you allowing in your space? A lion raised in a cage will never learn to hunt. A genius raised in chaos will never hear their thoughts. You must curate your environment with ruthless intent. Declutter your space. Silence distractions. Remove voices that feed doubt. Surround yourself with people who challenge you, not coddle you. People who see your potential, not your excuses. Thomas Edison spent hours alone in his lab, obsessively experimenting. Nikola Tesla walked miles daily to clear his thinking. Oprah credits her circle with preserving her momentum. They all knew the surroundings we tolerate are the futures we create. So build an environment where your greatness is the standard, not the exception. Make your life a temple, not a circus. And you'll begin to rise just by being inside it. Habit 8, study relentlessly, as if your success depended on it, because it does. In a world obsessed with speed, wisdom has become rare. But make no mistake, it is the wise who rise, not just the fast. Knowledge is not optional anymore. It is the tool of transformation. Read every day. Learn like your life is on the line, because it is. Every insight you don't know could be the insight that unlocks everything. Read about people who came before you. Study the patterns, the failures, the breakthroughs, the character. Warren Buffett spends 5 hours a day reading. Abraham Lincoln carried books through the fields, teaching himself law by candlelight. Malcolm X devoured entire libraries while in prison. Knowledge doesn't care where you start. It only asks, will you seek it? You don't need to finish a book every day, but you do need to be curious. You do need to be hungry. You do need to upgrade your mind like it's your most valuable asset, because it is. The man who stops learning begins dying. The woman who feeds her mind with greatness eventually becomes it. Never go a day without learning something that sharpens your edge. Habit 9, take one bold action every single day. Small thinking is a prison. Safe choices build invisible cages. And hesitation, it's a killer. Most people don't fail because they lack talent. They failed because they didn't move. They waited, delayed, overthought, postponed. And then the moment passed. Success does not reward hesitation. It rewards decisiveness. And you don't need to overhaul your life in one day. You just need to take one bold action every single day in the direction of your dream. Send the email, make the call, publish the video, say yes to the thing that scares you, say no to the thing that dilutes you. One action, that's all. Because action builds confidence. Confidence builds momentum. Momentum changes everything. You can read every book, write every plan, rehearse every speech in your mind, but if you never move, you'll never win. Nike said it best. Just do it, because while others are waiting for the stars to align, you'll already be halfway there, building your own universe one move at a time. Habit 10, end every day with silent self-mastery. The day ends, but your mind doesn't. And this is where most people lose the game. They rush to escape the day without extracting its wisdom. Reflection is the final habit that separates the unconscious from the awake, the drifter from the driven. At the end of each day, ask yourself, what did I do today that moved me forward? What distracted me? What did I learn? How can I be 1% better tomorrow? This is not guilt. It's not shame. It's strategy. Winners are not perfect. They are just better students of their own life. And every night, before the world silences you with sleep, you must tune into your own signal, write it down, think it through, sit with the discomfort, sit with the wins. Because when you combine reflection with discipline and discipline with action, you create something rare in this world. You create a person who is in control of their own evolution, a person who is not shaped by the world, but who shapes it. A person who doesn't just survive the day, but uses it as a stepping stone to something greater. And when you look back a year from now, a decade from now, you will see it clearly. It wasn't the huge moves that transformed you. It wasn't the drama or the breakthroughs or the spotlight. It was the quiet, consistent mastery of 10 tiny habits, repeated daily, lived deeply, owned completely. So I ask you now, not next week, not tomorrow, now, which of these 10 will you begin today? Because the life you crave, the purpose you feel calling, the strength you were born to embody, it's not waiting at the finish line. It's waiting for you to take the next step. Not perfectly, not powerfully, just deliberately, again and again and again, until the world can no longer ignore the force you've become. And that is how lives are transformed. That is how legacies are built. That is how the impossible becomes inevitable. one tiny habit at a time.